My name is Darlene Feldman, and I'm a Humane Education Specialist at the Humane Society of Broward County. I've been with the shelter for more than 7 years, and prior to this, I was an elementary school teacher. I got involved with the Humane Society close to 12 years ago when I started volunteering here. And the thing that attracted me to the shelter at that time was not only my love for animals, was because they had children's programs, and I was looking to still work with children at that time. So I volunteered in the education department, and I also came in and did what's called PAL, which is petting, affection, and love. So I would hang out with the dogs on a Thursday morning and spend about 10 minutes in each cage, giving them love and giving them treats.
Okay. And what does the Humane Society do for abandoned animals or?
Okay, the mission of the Humane Society is to provide food, love, and responsible adoptions for all of the animals that are in our care. So many of the animals that we have here at the shelter have been surrendered by their owners. And then we also do get transfers from other shelters, both locally, from the southeastern part of the United States, from Puerto Rico on a weekly basis. The other part of our mission is to go out into the community and educate people about pet respect, pet responsibility, you know, with the hopes that by educating people, we won't get as many pets as we do.
Okay. And how many animals would you say get adopted each week?
You know, I don't have the breakdown for each week. I can provide you with our new Paw Prints magazine, which will have like a quarterly number. But usually for the year, I'm going to say it's about 7,000 animals that are adopted out of the shelter.
What happens to those few animals who don't get adopted?
Well, you know, we have other programs where we work with different rescue groups. So sometimes, for example, if we get a boxer and we're having a harder time for whatever reason getting the boxer adopted, we might call it a boxer rescue. So the animals do leave here to go somewhere else to get adopted. We have something called the Adoption Ambassador Program. That's where animals that have been evaluated that they're not going to do well in the shelter environment, we have volunteers who are trained to do the adoptions for us. They take the dog, let's say, home with them. They use social media to advertise the dog. They take the dog out to events in the community like art fairs, jazz festivals, and get the animals adopted that way. So that, you know, that's pretty, that's pretty much, we just try to do everything that we can to get the animals adopted.
Okay, and then how does the Humane Society get the money to provide the animals with food and toys?
Okay, well, we are a nonprofit agency, so we do depend on the community for monetary donations and for donations of those items that are needed to take care of all of the animals. We have 2 liaison groups that help us with some of that. One is a group of mostly women, or it might be all women, called PAWS. They have a lot of events throughout the year that they raise money, like a tea, a fashion show. They just had a big gala event about a week or so ago. We have a group of young professionals called PetSet. And they also have events throughout the year and raise money for us. We are very, very fortunate that we are one of about a dozen shelters nationally who receive food from Purina. So Purina provides us with all of the food that we need, and as you can imagine, that's a big savings. You know, and it's a good product. So they do, whenever we're running low, there's somebody here who calls them, and then we get a shipment from Purina. Our annual walk for the animals. I don't know if either of you
I've gone to that.
Okay, so that's another way. So we just had our annual walk for the animals. It was the first Saturday in March, and we raised over $530,000. So we do that every year. Adoption fees, any camp fees. If you buy items in the boutique, the money stays here at the shelter. So all of the fees coming in for anything that's done at the shelter. So the money stays here to take care of the animals. And we're not run by any corporation. We don't get money from corporations on a regular basis. Of course, if somebody participates in the walk, let's say for a couple of years, LaCroix, I think the bubbling flavored seltzers, they would pay a fee to be a sponsor of the walk. So any company that becomes a sponsor for the walk, they pay a sponsorship. So that's money.
Okay, and then I'm not sure if the Humane Society, do you guys deal with abused animals or no?
I mean, we do get animals that come in from abusive situations sometimes. For example, I'm going to say this was about a month ago, and you might have heard this on the news or read it in the paper, but there were 35 Chihuahuas that were rescued from a home in the community. They lived in one room. They were not well taken care of. It was somebody who probably at one time meant well and took maybe a few in, and a few turned into 35 at some point. The gentleman must have fallen on hard times. He was having his own health issues and didn't realize it. And they were rescued, brought here to the shelter, taken care of. Some of them had issues with their skin. They weren't being fed the best food. They weren't being given flea or tick application, medication for that. But we got them adopted. So it does happen from time to time that we do get animals, and that's a form of abuse, the right way.
Okay, and then how does the Humane Society spread awareness about abused animals and animals that are in need of adoption?
Oh, there's many ways that we try to get the word out. First of all, we have a very user-friendly website that is kept up to date. We have, so the pictures of all of the animals that are up for adoption are on our website. A lot of people use Pet Finder when they're looking to adopt an animal, so all of our animals are also on Pet Finder. Just going out into the schools, for example, which is what we do in the education department, that's one way of us to make people aware of the animals that we have up for adoption, just through all of the different groups that we have here at the shelter, whether it's our kids groups, our teen club, our customer service department. They will do what they call pit stops sometimes. So you might find them at the Mellow Mushroom one Friday, and they're there to educate people about pit bulls. And they raise awareness that way, because that is a very big issue in the community. As much as our numbers go down, two of the things that are still problems, kittens, and we're starting kitten season right now. We just got a lot of kittens in today, and that's something because of not everybody being as educated as they should be about spaying and neutering and letting cats live outside. So that's the way we spread awareness, by being out there in the community, doing different events. We do snuggle deliveries. That's something that has been done at some schools, but a lot of companies on a Friday, there is a nice donation involved in that for us. But we'll bring puppies out, because what's better on a Friday afternoon than to get to snuggle a puppy? The puppies end up getting adopted. That's really not the reason we do that, because they'll get adopted here very quickly. But it's just a way of us being out in the community, and also, spreading awareness of all the issues that affect animals.
Okay, and then how can we as teenagers and other children get involved?
Okay, we have, most of our teen programs are full, so it's getting in touch with me. I run the teen program, the Teen Junior Counselor program, and the teen club. Lacey Freeman runs the Structured Teen Work Volunteer program. It's getting in touch with us and getting your name on a list. But while you're waiting to get involved, or if because of your other obligations you can't physically be here, and this might sound a little maybe childish at this point for you guys, but bake sales, lemonade stands, whatever they'll let you do at school. Just to be able, we can provide you with brochures so that you have the means of educating people without being a part of one of our programs. Talking to people about the importance of spaying and neutering animals, and I can give you brochures about that, very important. So, you can help either by getting involved with one of our programs, or doing things like that to raise money for the shelter. We're always in the need of dog toys, treats. See, there's the things that you could make as a group, as a student government. You could get your student government involved to do a donation drive for us, which actually I think they've done that this year. But things like that really help us out a lot, more than you could probably imagine.
That's it.
Animal abuse ranges from lab testing, cosmetic surgeries, farm abuse, poaching, hoarding, and the harming of domesticated animals. Cosmetic surgeries for companion animals, like declawing, ear cropping, tail docking, and devocalization, puts the animals under extreme amounts of pain and could result in their death. Animal hoarding is a type of abuse because in most cases the animals are packed together in unsanitary conditions. In Florida, it has become a major problem in the most recent years, and people are trying to pass harder laws against it. Most animals raised on farmlands for food are confined in overcrowded cages and receive abuse from their handlers. Poaching is the illegal act of hunting or catching an animal that's under protection. Poaching pushes endangered animals towards extinction, and it destroys the ecosystem where they are found by altering the food chain. One of the 10 building blocks for Catholic social teaching is the principle of stewardship, where we show our respect to our Creator through our stewardship of creation. This means being conscious about our physical environment and using a sense of moral responsibility for the protection of the environment. That includes croplands, grasslands, woodlands, air, water, minerals, and other natural deposits. This also means taking care of the animals around us, those domesticated and wild. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 19 says, "For what happens to the children of man and what happens to the beasts is the same. As one dies, so dies the other. They all have the same breath, and man has no advantage over the beasts, for all is vanity." Almost half the world lives on $2.50 a day. Many people die each day due to violence, and about 21 million people are human trafficked worldwide. Because we focus more on the conflicts that deal with us, we tend to overlook conflicts that we create. We're talking about animal cruelty.
Animal cruelty is defined as the crime of inflicting physical pain, suffering, or death on an animal. Each year, approximately 1.5 million shelter animals are euthanized. Approximately 6.5 million companion animals enter U.S. animal shelters nationwide every year. Of those, approximately 3.3 million are dogs and 3.2 million are cats. Approximately 3.2 million sheltered animals are adopted each year. An animal is abused every 10 seconds in this country. Average number of animal abuse cases reported in the media each year is 1,920. 100 million animals are killed in U.S. testing laboratories, and 250,000 fall victim to animal hoarding each year. Fall victim to